It's already recording.
So, it's been over a year since your last album.
Yeah. It has.
So what's happened in the meantime? Did you go on up? Did you, did you go? Did you go? Did you go on hiatus or something?
Well, ever since we got rich and famous, we've had a lot on our minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we've been, you know what I'm saying? We've been buying expensive things and living lavish lives, but also we're ever since the release of Come Down / Crushed in the Mainframe, it's been a lot of pressure on us to release something just as good, if not better, than Come Down.
How well received was your last album?
Oh, it was extremely well received. It was considered one of the greatest experimental albums ever made, up there with Frank's Garage and you know what I mean?
I do.
So yeah.
But you know, the concept album has been around for a very long time, and some reviewer
Well, we invented it. Me and Bob Knob, we invented the concept album. That was us. All those other cunts stole our idea.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. But it has been around for a very long time since you invented it. And this one reviewer called Joe, he didn't take kindly to the fact that you did decide to release a concept album. Do you think the concept album nowadays is considered a dead phase?
Who's Joe?
He was some guy who reviewed your album Come Down.
No, I don't think the concept of the concept album is dead. I think it's quite conceptual, if you ask me personally.
Okay. Alright.
Well, it was very long-winded. It took me and Bob Knob about a year, or almost a year, to put all of it together. However, it was all very rushed simultaneously. There's a lot of last-minute recording sessions and edits to the album. It was originally meant to be put out at 12 o'clock on the 1st of January 2020, but ended up being re-released at midday because there's just a few details that just weren't quite finished, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But I would say that it was our most intense recording session, other than We Are Indians.
Oh, yes. So what's your new album gonna be like, if there is one?
Well, it's gonna be fucking good.
I see.
But it's also gonna be very, very hoo-hop inspired. It's gonna have a lot of new sounds on it that the Obs have never done before. It's gonna be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of like on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes. I see. Well, I think that's the end of the interview.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll catch you later. And some guy.
You can't catch me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay. Yes. Oh. Okay. I'm going to turn this interview over to.
Racism.
No, not racism. It's a good friend of mine. Who was going to interview Bob Knob from the other half of the Obs. How come Bob Knob couldn't be with us right now at this moment?
He's probably doing a shit. Might be having a wank. He's having a cunt.
Oh, well then. Okay. Oh, well, yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. Oh, my apologies.
Welcome back to the Good Music Podcast. Our guest is none other than experimental indie music legend, one half of the Obs, Bob Knob of the Obs. How are you this evening, Bob?
I am, well, you see, a little bit frustrated.
And why is that?
Because the person who gave your list, who gave your information, is obviously very fucking wrong. Because because I'm not an experimental Indian music legend, okay? I have no relation to the Indians, alright? I'm not related to them in any way. At least I don't think so.
You made an album called We Are Indians.
Oh, that was a social commentary on the rough climate of India at the time. See, I'm still not sure exactly what's going on, but you see, there was this guy called PewDiePie, and he made this very offensive and racially offensive music. No, not music. What did he do? I completely forgot. But anyway, we took the album cover from these two Indians, and they held up they're holding up these cardboard signs. I forgot what they said. I think it was something important, and then we put our name, the Obs, and a bunch of stuff over it, and you see, people at the time just didn't get it, and people still don't get it. People still think it's quite offensive, but personally I think they're just a bunch of idiotic fucking fuckheads.
That's very interesting. Now, there is believed rumours that there is a new album, the 13th album, on its way now. What is your word on this situation?
Oh, I think they're quite right. Yeah, we have told people that we do have a new album out, and I guess you could say that it is a rumour because we haven't really worked on it that much. We've made the backing tracks and such, but we haven't really done much with the backing tracks because the backing tracks have taken so much time and effort out of our daily routines to do. You see, this, between Come Down and this upcoming album, is the longest ever time that the Obs have spent between album release dates, and people are getting very frustrated at us because the Obs to them is like heroin. They just can't get enough of it, and doing it over and over again kind of gets boring, especially the same albums. They need new stuff, and so we kind of had to sustain their addiction with the music video release of Country Rock Shuffle,
which was very well received.
Very well received. You see, the music video was a social take on the pornography industry and the film Freddy Got Fingered, because in that film the main character is played by Tom Green, who was married to Drew Barrymore at the time. More like Drew marry Tom Green. Thank you, I thought of it myself. But yeah, in that film, Tom Green masturbates a horse. And you see, people didn't really take kindly to that scene when it was first released. Certain people left the theatre because what they were witnessing was, in fact, Tom Green masturbating a horse, and I don't think they liked that very, very much. Not at all, in fact. They thought this film was going to be a raunchy comedy, but not animal pornography. And we also mixed that with actual pornography from the film Deep Throat, released in I completely forgot, my apologies. And the film Cocksucker Blues by the Rolling Stones, which is in fact illegal to watch unless you are in the same room as the director while you watch it. And so that's what the Obs had to do in order to get this footage. And in fact, the footage had to be blurred for the music video, and So what we did was we blurred everything, which I think is another social commentary on how pornography blurs the line between sex and film, and I think that's really a deep message that every kid deserves to if, know. Young kid, yeah, young thug. That's a person who we're inspired by for this new album, Young Thug.
So the word is on the street and in your comments and
Yes.
amongst your fan base,
Yes.
that this next album is more in a hip hop style.
Well, yes.
It is a take on modern trap music.
It is a take on modern
So
trap music.
what makes this album different from your hop hip album, Quite
Well-
Obtuse?
Well, Quite Obtuse was, in fact, inspired by a lot of, well, hip-hop music from the 90s, such as Vanilla Ice. But this new album is, in fact, inspired by new artists, not hip-hop. No, not new hip hop, new trap music. Like Lil Big.
Who was a featuring artist on Quite Obtuse.
Exactly.
And there is word that there is going to be a lot of feature artists on this new
There's
album.
going to be a lot of people
Such as
featuring.
there's word out there that MC Squared could be
yeah.
appearing on this album.
Well, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but yeah.
So when you record an album, what is your process in how you create?
Well, you see, our process involves creating the backing tracks and making these backing tracks as good as possible. You see, if we have a bad backing track, we say fuck you to it and then we piss it off. If we have a good backing track, do you know what we say to it? Fuck you and piss it off. We need a really, really good backing track in order to fulfill our fans' needs. If we just have a mediocre or good backing track, then our fans would go, what the fuck is this shit? But if we have a really, really good backing track, they'll go, oh yeah, this is good.
So, do you, in the OBS, do you have any works you've put out in the past where the fans did think it was mediocre and you weren't on your absolute greatest?
We've always been on our absolute greatest. So what is your name?
Devon Log.
Oh, yeah. We've always been at our absolute greatest. Devon Log.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's never been a point in the Obs's career in which we've ever made a bad, mediocre, or even good album. All of our albums have been fantastic to the upper limits. It's just sometimes people don't exactly realize that, and they make some stupid sort of fucking comment which involves, oh, this album's boring, I'm bored, oh, fuck, I hate you. And then, do you know what I say to them?
What do you say?
I don't know actually, because I forgot.
Good bird. So, do you ever fear in future that the Obs's musical abilities may deteriorate with the amount of albums you put out? Because in 2019, you put 10 or more albums out in just that year. Are we ever expecting to see this resurgence in releases again?
The second half of that question was a good question, but I want you to take a look back on the first half of that question and realize how idiotic you sound.
I'm sorry. Can you answer the second half of the question?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, there will definitely be a resurgence. We just had to take a bit of time off because, you see, the fame that we received from Come Down was so over the top and such a magnificent, critical acclaim that we kind of got overwhelmed and we
Overwhelmed how?
not going to answer that.
So, you've had a lot of financial success from the release of The Orbs Come Down, as we are in your new apartment,
Yes,
which is a
yes.
very nice, expensive apartment, which
Very,
you are
very
sharing
nice.
between the two members of the Orbs.
Oh yes, we are doing that.
And a few close friends of the group.
Oh yes, certain members of friends.
Like Flaccid Anus. Do you have any words to say about Flaccid Anus?
Okay, so the members of Flaccid Anus, we are, I wouldn't say good friends, but we know of each other. We know of each other. Well, I know of them, and they know of me, but they know me better because I am better than them, and so they suck. They rip us off. You see, there's this song on one of their albums. I can't even fucking think of the title because I don't remember it. But there's a song on that album, I think it's called Hats. And if you look back onto the Orbs' past career...
There, on your first album was a song called Hats.
Don't fucking interrupt me. On our first... on our first album, Obsolete, released in 2018, right? There's a song called Hats. And guess what it's about? Hats. The song on this Flaccid Anus album is called Hats. And guess what it's about? Fucking hats. They rip us off and they don't even decide to I don't even know. But what they did was absolutely wrong.
So have these feelings about Flaccid Anus, are they going to transpire into your new album? Is that, as it is a hip-hop album, it is famously known that musical beefs enter the world of hip-hop. Do you think this is something that's going to transpire upon the release of your 13th album?
You see, one of the things I like about you, Devin Log, is the fact that you have given me this great idea. Although I won't say that. I came up with a really good idea of insulting Flaccid Anus on this new Orbs album. Because they're shit. Bunch of good-for-nothing, talentless... shitheads.
Yeah.
What did you do that for?
Well, I think that's all we needed to speak of. I believe you need to get back to a recording session for the album. John Wobb is waiting inside. So I shall let musical art happen. This has been the music podcast. This is